Hi y'all, my name is Anita and thank you for joining me today. Here on my channel we talk about everything from fragrance to fashion to lifestyle advice and everything in between. So if you like what you see, make sure to like what you see. And let's get into our next video. Okay, also from the caption, the title, the subtitle, wherever you saw it, today we are reviewing the fragrance that I think is going to be the next escapade gourmand, and that is from the Italian house of Amyris Essenze. That was a mouthful, y'all. Okay, a mouthful. And that fragrance is Zucchero Filato. Let's get into the notes. So this fragrance has only 4 notes: sugar, cotton candy, icing sugar, and musk. And baby, 4 notes is all that it needs. This is a beautiful fragrance. If you loved Escapade Gourmand like I do, this is going to be right up your alley. Think of the sugariness of Escapade Gourmand without that heavy dose of vanilla. This reminds me of going to the state fair or the rodeo when I was younger. Honestly, 2 years ago I went, okay? And they had the cotton candy, and whenever they're doing the spun sugar cotton candy, there are bits that always leave the machine and kind of fly around. That is the essence of exactly what Zucchero Filato is. It is a beautiful, sweet, but airy cotton candy fragrance. This gives you a scent bubble of just pure sweetness. I wore this to Target and I layered it with such a odd layering combination. I put it with Valleja by Perfumes and Marley, and honestly they work so well together because this fragrance I think is the ultimate fragrance sweetener. If you have a fragrance that is lacking some sweetness, this is gonna be your girl. I layered those two things together and I was walking into Target and a lady passed by me and she whipped her head around and she was like, "You smell so good." I was like, "What?" Because I have my headphones in. She was like, "No, no, you smell so good." And I was like, "Thank you." Now, I will say that since this does come from Italy, the shipping on this is pretty steep. So they do send samples that we're going to talk about today that, kind of offset that price. But either way, y'all, I think the fragrance is worth it. As far as longevity and projection on my skin, I get a good 6 to 8 hours. But honestly, this is something that does project quite a bit. So you don't have to overspray, but if you're me and you're an oversprayer, then once I spray this on and I douse myself in it, I know that I'm going to be creating a scent trail for hours to come. I just shot a TikTok video for this fragrance and I cannot stop smelling myself, y'all. This is an extrait, so it has 44% oil in this fragrance, therefore, which is why the projection is great, the longevity is great as well too. And since I got samples from Amyris, I'm gonna go ahead and go over them today, just so you get an idea of what these smell like. Now, the Italians are said to be the masters of gourmand perfumes. They do things that are photorealistic, and for me, sometimes that can be a little bit hard to handle. I love gourmands that don't smell too foodie. And I know that gourmands are, being foodie and being gourmand are hand in hand like this. But for me, there's a specific line that I can't cross, to the point where if I cross that line, I get nauseous when smelling certain fragrances. But some of these, I've already tried them and they do teeter that line. So let's get into it. The first sample that I have is called a Marshmallow, and this one has notes of marshmallow, cream, and strawberry. And honestly, that's exactly what it smells like. And the more I smell it, the more I think I like it. Jesus. This to me smells like Lucky Charms, Fruity Pebbles. It smells like a fruity cereal. You absolutely get the strawberry, you absolutely get the cream and the marshmallow. I can identify all of those notes from this fragrance. This is so sweet and so creamy. It smells like if you took a bowl of the Lucky Charms, not the other stuff, just the charms. You cut up some strawberries and you drizzle condensed milk over them and you ate it into a spoon. That's what this smells like. If you're not used to extremely gourmand, extremely sweet fragrances, this will be pushing your limits. But if you are someone like me that loves vanilla, loves caramel, loves extremely sweet fragrances, this is something that you would probably really appreciate. Now, the next one is one that I have heard made a little bit of waves, just a tiny bit on TikTok, and this is Creme Brule by Theodora's Calatinis. Now, this one has notes of vanilla cream, coconut milk, and burnt sugar. And this seems like something that would be along the vibes of Escapade Gourmand as well too. But that coconut in there, I don't know. I definitely get that vanilla cream. This smells like a bowl of condensed milk. The thick condensed milk, how that one tastes, smells just like this. These atomizers be aggressive though, I will say that. Oof. Okay. So this is what I was talking about, where fragrances that are gourmand can cross that line of being a perfume and being overly foodie, overly gourmand. This steps over that threshold for me. I do think that the coconut milk in here makes this a little bit less creme brulee and more condensed evaporated milk. This also reminds me a lot of a vanilla wafer. This smells actually, that's what that is. This smells less like creme brulee and more like a vanilla wafer dipped in condensed milk. I do get the extremely sweet sugar note, but I don't get anything that gives it a burnt essence. There's no slight woody tones in there. There's no slight peppery tones. Nothing that makes it seem like it's a burnt sugar, more so than just a white sugar. I can see someone really enjoying this fragrance if, like I said, you love gourmand, you love foodie fragrances, and you love it sweet. This is something I would definitely recommend that you try. But as for me, this is a little bit too gourmand for me. The next one we have is going to be Cream, and this is also again by the brand Amyris. This has notes of Sorrento lemon, Sicilian orange, vanilla sugar, and custard. This is said to be reminiscent of a sweet, delicious custard, so let's try her out and see. So upon first sniff, I definitely get the lemon note. But it's not a tart lemon, which I appreciate because when it comes to lemony gourmands, I've only found two that work for me, and the other ones just smell straight up like cleaner products. This one does have a essence of like a Lysol cleaner product, but I can smell the vanilla sugar peeking through. That's making it feel a bit more sweet. Actually, this is very sweet, but the citrus notes of the lemon really cut through the sweetness, so it's not sickly sweet. Because this is said to be a custard-like fragrance, I expected this to be a bit more creamier. I think the cream they had in the Marshmallow fragrance would have played really well in this fragrance. Overall though, if you do like lemony, citrusy gourmands, I would say this is one that you should probably get a sample of. As I continue to smell it, the lemon notes are starting to dissipate and die down where it's not as much in the forefront. I'm starting to get the sweetness of the vanilla sugar, and the orange is peeking through as well too. There are other citrusy gourmands that I do extremely enjoy, like Hard to Get by Forever Mood. That one is done so beautifully, so well, that I don't think I would need something like Cream in my collection because it just doesn't do enough for me to like the citrusy part of the gourmands. Now the next one we have is Jolie. And this one is also by the Amyris brand. So the notes on this are vanilla, milk, sugar, raspberry, and cotton candy. There's a fishy tone to this. Oh, that's weird. Y'all, this atomizer is wiggity wiggity whack, okay? I hope the fishy tone was just a fluke, because I don't know what that was. It was terrible. I don't know if this has gone bad or not, but me, this reminds me a lot of Zucchero Filato with a with a touch of a fishy note. That's so weird. I don't even like saying that, but I can't lie. I am getting a fishy tone to this fragrance. So if I was to choose between Zucchero and Jolie, y'all know I'm going for Zucchero. And last but not least, we have Pear Gelato by Theodora's Calatinis. Now this one has notes of waffle cone, milk, sugar, vanilla, and pear. Ooh, ooh, very gourmand. very gourmand, very vanilla, very sweet. I get the fruity note of the pear, but let's spray it and see. Interesting. Immediately to me, this smells like if you ate a pear and immediately followed it up with a vanilla wafer. That's what this smells like through and through. I love the pear note in this. The pear note in this is so beautiful. But there is a thing that I have when it comes to fragrances that have waffly, bready, crust like fragrance notes in there. It just turns me completely off. I would think this fragrance is full bottle blind buy worthy if it didn't have that waffle cone note in there. I think that everything that's in the notes, I can definitely pick it apart in the fragrance. It's a tinge bit lactonic from the cream, so it definitely smells very well blended. Nothing is sharp, nothing is pungent, nothing is screechy. It's all so well blended together. The pear note is extremely sweet. It's not a fresh type of pear. It's a very ripe pear that's been cut at the perfect time, so it's extremely sweet and it has maybe a slight bit of tartness to give it a good balance. Now, if you love a fruity gourmand fragrance and you don't mind the waffle bready type of scent to it, I would say this is full bottle and blind by Ray. This is a beautiful fragrance. This is something that if someone was wearing it, I would definitely ask them what they have on. This is something that I think will be amazing in the summertime, like amazing. All right, y'all, that is it for today's fragrance review, and I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you all for watching. Till next time, bye.